Today we're tackling a fascinating paradox. Why so many intelligent people struggle financially? Did you know that studies show almost zero correlation between IQ and net worth? That's right. Being smart doesn't automatically make you rich. In fact, sometimes it does the exact opposite. Over the next minutes, I'll reveal the psychological traps that keep intelligent people broke and the exact mental models you need to overcome them. If you're finding this valuable already, make sure to subscribe to Smart Money Discussions so you never miss these transformative insights that could literally change your financial future. Let's start with a shocking finding from Thomas Stanley's research for The Millionaire Next Door. Only about 20% of American millionaires have advanced degrees. Most built their wealth through consistent behaviors rather than academic achievements. Meanwhile, many highly educated professionals, doctors, lawyers, engineers, often end up as what Stanley calls underaccumulators of wealth, living paycheck to paycheck despite impressive incomes. So what's happening here? Why doesn't intelligence automatically translate to wealth? The answer lies in behavioral psychology. Smart people fall into specific mental traps that sabotage their financial success. The first is overconfidence bias. When you're used to being the smartest person in the room, you naturally believe you can outsmart the market or make complex financial decisions without help. This leads to risky investments, inadequate diversification, and rejecting expert advice. A classic example is the brilliant doctor who invests heavily in a single biotech stock, confident in their medical knowledge, only to lose 70% when the company fails clinical trials. Meanwhile, a plumber with a high school education steadily invests in index funds, building wealth through consistency rather than trying to beat the market. The second trap is analysis paralysis. Smart people often overthink financial decisions, searching for the perfect investment or waiting for ideal market conditions. This perfectionism leads to decision paralysis and missed opportunities. Consider this. If you'd invested $10,000 in an S&P 500 index fund in 2010 instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you'd have over $45,000 today. That's the cost of overthinking in real dollars. The third psychological barrier is status-seeking behavior. Educated professionals often feel pressure to display their success through luxury cars, expensive homes, and exclusive schools for their children. This status spending creates a devastating loop. Higher income drives higher spending, leaving little for wealth building. Federal Reserve data reveals this reality. 40% of households earning over $100,000 annually live paycheck to paycheck, trapped in a cycle of high income and high consumption that prevents wealth accumulation. If you're realizing these patterns might be affecting you, subscribe to Smart Money Discussions for weekly insights that bridge intelligence and financial success. Now, let's contrast the wealth-building approaches of two intelligent individuals. Both earn substantial incomes, but their outcomes diverge dramatically. Person A is a surgeon earning $300,000 annually with $200,000 in student loans. They live in a $1.5 million home in an exclusive neighborhood, drive a luxury car, and send their children to private schools. Despite their high income, their spending habits and debt leave them with a net worth of only $500,000 by age 50. Person B is a software developer earning $150,000 with minimal student debt. They live in a modest home in a middle-class neighborhood, drive a reliable but ordinary car, and focus on public schools with strong programs. By automating their finances and living below their means, they accumulate a net worth of $2 million by age 50. The difference isn't intelligence, both are highly educated and capable. The difference is behavior. Person B embraces what Stanley calls the habits of a prodigious accumulator of wealth, living below their means, avoiding status consumption, and consistently investing. So how can intelligent people bridge this gap between smarts and wealth? The answer lies in specific mental models and behavioral changes. First, adopt the circle of competence model popularized by Warren Buffett. This means acknowledging what you don't know and seeking expert advice in those areas. Smart people often struggle with this because admitting knowledge gaps feels threatening to their identity. But wealth building requires humility. Second, implement the opportunity cost framework for every financial decision. When you spend $50,000 on a luxury car, you're not just spending $50,000, you're forfeiting what that money could become through investment. At 7% annual returns, that $50,000 would grow to over $380,000 in 30 years. Is the car worth $380,000 to you? Third, use automation to bypass psychological weaknesses. Set up automatic transfers to investment accounts, retirement funds, and savings goals. This removes the emotional element from wealth building, ensuring consistency regardless of mood or motivation. Fourth, practice second-order thinking by considering the long-term consequences of financial decisions. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this payment?" ask, "How will this decision affect my wealth in 10 or 20 years?" If these strategies are helping you think differently about wealth, subscribe to Smart Money Discussions for weekly insights that transform your financial future. Now let's talk practical implementation. Here's a 30-day action plan to start bridging the intelligence wealth gap. Week 1. Conduct a lifestyle audit. Calculate your actual savings rate, what percentage of income goes to wealth building, and compare it to your spending on status items. Week 2. Automate your finances. Set up automatic transfers to investment accounts, making wealth building your default rather than requiring constant willpower. Week 3. Simplify your investment strategy. For most people, low-cost index funds outperform complex investment schemes. Remember, Warren Buffett famously instructed his trustee to invest 90% of his wife's inheritance in index funds. Week 4. Build accountability structures. Share your financial goals with a trusted friend, join a money group, or work with a financial advisor who challenges your thinking. Let's address some common objections intelligent people raise when confronted with these ideas. "But I work hard and deserve nice things." Of course you do, but consider whether status consumption today is worth sacrificing financial freedom tomorrow. "I'll save more when I earn more." Research shows that without behavioral changes, increased income rarely translates to increased savings. Lifestyle inflation typically absorbs higher earnings. My professional colleagues all live this way. Remember that many high-earning professionals are secretly struggling financially despite appearances. Don't benchmark your wealth building against visible consumption. Let me share a personal example that illustrates this principle. I have a friend, we'll call him Michael, who graduated at the top of his class and landed a prestigious job at a tech company. His starting salary was impressive, and he immediately upgraded his lifestyle: luxury apartment, designer clothes, expensive restaurants. 5 years later, despite multiple promotions, Michael had less than $10,000 in savings. Meanwhile, his colleague Sarah, equally intelligent but with different financial behaviors, lived modestly, automated her finances, and focused on long-term wealth. After the same 5 years, Sarah had over $200,000 in investments and was on track for early financial independence. The difference wasn't intelligence or even income, it was behavior. If this discussion is helping you see wealth building in a new light, please subscribe to Smart Money Discussions, where we transform complex concepts into actionable wealth strategies. Here's the empowering truth. Intelligence is an advantage for wealth building when paired with the right behavioral framework. Your cognitive abilities can accelerate financial success once you overcome the psychological barriers we've discussed. The most important shift is recognizing that wealth primarily comes from behavior, not intelligence. As Morgan Housel writes in The Psychology of Money, intelligence helps, but behavior determines outcomes. To summarize what we've covered, intelligence and education boost income potential but don't guarantee wealth. Psychological barriers like overconfidence, perfectionism, and status-seeking often trap smart people. Specific mental models like circle of competence and opportunity cost can bridge the gap. Behavioral systems like automation bypass psychological weaknesses. Consistent action over time, not intellectual brilliance, builds lasting wealth. Starting today, you can leverage your intelligence as an asset rather than letting it become a liability in your wealth-building journey. The key is awareness of these psychological traps and commitment to behavioral systems that overcome them. Thank you for listening to Smart Money Discussions. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe for more insights that transform complex financial concepts into practical strategies for building wealth. Until next time, remember, being smart about money isn't about what you know, it's about what you do.